Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Simone here. So today I'm going to be filming a library haul. I went to the library again and took back all the books that I hadn't quite read yet because they were due back and I hadn't read them. And got new ones out, obviously, that's how it works. So yes, I'm just going to say one thing very quickly. I'm really sorry about the lighting in this video. My boyfriend bought me a ring light for my birthday and was really excited, and then I tried to use it and then I got really confused about how it works with my tripod. So he's coming up this weekend when I'm filming this, so my hope is that he will help me so that some of my future videos will have better lighting. But this will have to do today because I need to film a video and you can't see it. Anyway, I went to the library, picked up a load of books, and now I want to talk about them. So let's go. So the first book that I have is When Breath Becomes Air by Paul Kalanithi. I may have said that wrong, but I can't remember whose channel I saw this on, but somebody talked about this book, and basically it's a neurosurgeon who is doing his training and he's sort of becoming a neurosurgeon, and then that's this picture here, and then on the back it shows this picture because he then is diagnosed with inoperable lung cancer, and so he becomes a patient, and it's his sort of journey between doctor, patient, and sort of the differences and how he kind of copes with it and how he like survives and struggles through it. I say survived, it's not a spoiler because it's written on the inside jacket, but he actually died as he was writing this book. So I believe that the ending is kind of written by someone he was close to. I'm not entirely sure, but I know that this is going to be heartbreaking because not only do you know it's a true story as you're reading it, but you know that the guy dies. So I just feel like this is definitely going to make me cry, but I'm really, really excited to read it. The next book I have is Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt, and I don't really know a lot about this book. I know that I'm trying to read more from different YA authors. I read a book by Hayley Abbott that I talked about a few months ago called Summer Boys, and basically I have been sort of searching for different authors that I don't know about, and so Natalie Babbitt is a new author that I've never read before. So this is about our main character Winnie, who stumbles across an everlasting spring where if you drink from it you will never die and you will never age. And she also meets the Tuck family, who are obviously, they've drunk from this and therefore they aren't going to die, they're not going to age, and I think it's about that. I don't know much more about it. I know that it's literally a really, really short book. It's about 130 pages. So I feel like this is one that I can definitely read quickly, and yeah, I'm excited for that one. Next up I have the third book in the Percy Jackson series, and this one is Percy Jackson and the Titan's Curse. I've read Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief and Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters. I actually own those two, but I didn't own any more and I wanted to continue, so I thought, why not just get them from the library? And I don't know anything about this one. I wouldn't tell you if I did because I might spoil it for somebody, but basically Percy Jackson is a boy who has found out that his father is Poseidon, the god, and so obviously he's got to try and live up to that, I guess. And yeah, I'm excited. I love Percy Jackson. I really liked the other two. I'm hoping that I continue to like it. Then I have a book that I have heard a lot about on BookTube, but I didn't realise quite how big it was. But I reserved it in the library and it came and I was just like, oh, that's quite a big book. And this is Night Film by Marisha Pessel. I've seen a lot of different covers for this book, but I've never seen this cover, and it was really interesting when it came. I don't really know too much about this book, but inside it says, on a damp October night, the body of young, beautiful Ashley Cordova is found in an abandoned warehouse in Lower Manhattan. Her suicide appears to be the latest tragedy to hit a severely cursed dynasty. For McGrath, another death connected to the legendary director seems more than a coincidence. Driven by revenge, curiosity, and a need for the truth, he finds himself pulled into a hypnotic, disorientating world where almost everyone seems afraid. The last time McGrath got close to exposing Cordova, he lost his marriage and his career. This time he could lose his grip on reality. This sounds incredible. Again, it's massive. How many pages are you? It's about 600 pages, but it's also got different, throughout it, it's got newspaper articles and magazine covers and stuff. So I'm assuming that's to do with the fact that this guy's a director or whatever. I don't know pretty much anything about this. apart from what I just read. But I really want to read it because I hear it's a really good thriller, so I like thrillers. Then I have a book that was recommended by Hannah Tay, who I linked her channel below, and she was talking about the author Anne Cassidy. And I had never heard of Anne Cassidy before, but when she was talking about books about it, like different books that she did, she sort of mentioned this one, and I was really interested and really wanted to read it. And it is Looking for JJ, and this basically follows a woman who, when she was a girl, she killed another child, and now she's kind of out of prison or out of the wherever she went. But basically now she's trying to live her life as this new person. She's got a new identity, but obviously what happened sort of haunts her. Like I said, Hannah Tay really recommended this. In fact, recommended Anne Cassidy in general. So I literally looked Anne Cassidy up on my library reservation website, and this was the first one that came up, and she did mention this one, and it sounded really interesting to me. I always find the whole thing about children killing other children like a really interesting. It's absolutely just like dreadful and horrific, but the kind of psyche behind it I'm always really interested in, so I feel like this is going to be a really good one for me to read. Up next I have a book that was on my Goodreads TBR list, and basically I'd obviously clicked that I wanted to read this ages ago and totally forgotten about it, so I was going through my list and basically picking ones at random that I wanted to read and that my library had. And so I have Secrets of Eden by Chris Bohjalian, yeah. And I will read the back of this to you because I don't quite know how to explain it to you. So basically it says, 12 hours after her adult baptism, Alice Hayward suffers a violent death at the hands of her husband, who then shoots himself. When the two bodies are examined, what appeared to be a straightforward case of domestic abuse turns out to be far more complex. Given the angle of the bullet and the amount of blood in the room, the only conclusion is that someone other than George Hayward fired the gun. So again, it sounds like a thriller. As I said, I love thrillers. This is quite a big book as well, but take a look how big the writing is. It's huge! So I feel like this will literally take me no time at all to read, although it's 450 pages. It's basically like a 200-page book, just spaced out. I don't think this is large print. Oh, it is large print. I didn't realise that. I don't think I ordered a large print one from the library, but maybe I did, I don't remember. So I'm going to have to read this quick and give it back because I feel really bad sort of taking this away from someone who actually might need it to read it. But it's also been blurbed by Jodie Picoult, and as you might know if you've really watched my channel before, I do love Jodie Picoult, so yeah, can't wait to read it. Then I have a booktube favourite, and this is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. I know nothing about this. I'm not even going to pretend. I'm not even going to look it up because I literally have no idea what it is. All I know is that everybody talks about it. It's a really popular book on booktube and I want to read it. I feel like it's a trilogy, so this is number one. I've never read a Laini Taylor book actually, and I've heard really good things about her writing, so we'll see what I think. Next I have another booktube favourite, and this is Amy and Roger's Epic Detour by Morgan Matson. Now, Morgan Matson is one of the kind of, you say contemporary and like YA contemporary, and basically everybody says Morgan Matson, but I've never read a Morgan Matson book before, and I do love a road trip. I feel like this reminds me a bit of, is it Elizabethtown, that had Orlando Bloom and Kirsten Dunst in it? It was a really good film and I loved it, and it was kind of that like tour, it was kind of that like road trip thing. I love this as well. That I've never seen this cover of this before. Normally it's like an orangey cover, but not only has it got this on it, it's also got like a postcard bit on the back where it's like got all the postcard stuff, and then it gives you the blurb there. But I thought that was amazing. Basically, as far as I know, this follows a girl called Amy who, her mum is moving, and ever since her dad died, she doesn't like driving. I think he must have died in some kind of an accident, and so she doesn't really want to drive across the country because she just doesn't like driving. So there's like a family friend called Roger who is going that way, so he says he'll give her a lift, and it's about their friendship, possibly relationship, not really sure. But again, this sounds really interesting, and I believe that this has got like quite a few like playlists and stuff that you're meant to do with it. It's also got lots of different mixed media, so it's got like report cards and, oh yeah, playlist. So that goes through all the songs that you should listen to and stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to read this one. Then I have a really well-known book that I don't really know what it's about, and it's called The Glass Castle by Jeanette Walls. And again, this was one that I had on my Goodreads to read list that I didn't really remember putting there. But as far as I know, it says, while Jeanette Walls was living... Oh, is this a true story? Oh, this is like a autobiography kind of thing, like a memoir. So it says, while Jeanette Walls was living on Park Avenue covering the Academy Awards and attending black tie parties at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, her parents were squatting in an abandoned building on the Lower East Side. Rex Walls, her father, was an ingenious adventurer and a hopeless alcoholic. Her mother was an artist who abhorred domestic routine and the chores of motherhood. Why should I cook a meal that will be gone in an hour when I can do a painting that will last forever? Funny, sad, quirky and loving, The Glass Castle is an almost incredible story of a nomadic, impoverished childhood. Wow, that sounds really interesting. I didn't realise this was a memoir. Yeah, sounds really interesting. I like books about like memoirs, and I like reading about different people's lives that are completely different to me, so I'll give this a read and let you know what I think. And the last one is one that I have been really wanting to read for a really long time. If you know me, you know that I really like true crime, like on the telly, and I read the books a lot, and I have this really... I'm not fascinated by it because I think that makes it sound a bit glorified, but it intrigues me how people why people do certain things, and I just don't understand it. And basically, so this is A Mother's Reckoning, Living in the Aftermath of the Columbine Tragedy by Sue Klebold. Basically, Sue Klebold's son, can I remember what his name was? Dylan, I want to say? Yeah. So Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris, in 1999, April 20th, walked into the Columbine school and killed a load of children and teachers. I believe they killed teachers as well. 12 students and a teacher, and then killed themselves. And it's about... So this basically is the mother of one of the perpetrators talking about her son and his childhood and what happened, like why... what she doesn't, it literally says on the back here, the ultimate message of this book is terrifying. You may not know your own children, and worse yet, your children may be unknowable to you. The stranger you fear may be your own son or daughter. And it's about the one, basically, Sue Klebold obviously is kind of like, why did I not see this happening? Like, why did I not know that this was going to happen? Why did I not know that he was capable of something like this? And I think it's very easy to say, let's blame the parents. But it'll be very interesting to see from her perspective why, what she thought was going on and how, why she didn't see such things. I'm very, very interested. Again, this was a devastating thing that happened, so yeah, it's going to be particularly difficult to read, I think, especially because it'll be so emotional. But I still think it'll be really, really good to read and really fascinating. So this is all the books that I've got from the library recently. Let me know in the comments below if any of these you think I should read first, or which ones you think that I should read more importantly, and let me know what other books you think I should read, if by these authors maybe. Yeah, so give me a thumbs up if you liked this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!